Okay, so one of the 4 remixes that you have to do is a mashup. And what a mashup basically is, it's 2 or more songs put together over the top of each other, or chopping and changing in and out of each other. If you go onto YouTube and search pop hits mashup or top 40 mashup, there's really, really good examples of this where they've got, say, top 100 tracks from the last year and sort of merge them into one. So one bar from one piece, then merging into another one. And the easiest way to do this, just a very simple example, is to have an acapella from one song, which is just the vocals, and the instrumental from another. And also another tip, I prefer to do this just with rap or hip hop vocals and any instrumental that's roughly in the same beats per minute. The reason being is that hip hop vocals normally aren't in a key, so you don't need to find an acapella that is in the same key as your instrumental. Normally rap vocals will go over any instrumental, no matter what key it really is in, as long as they haven't got like a singing chorus or something like that. So the 2 examples that I've got, first of all, are Dr. Dre, Eminem, Forgot About Dre. That's the acapella, and the instrumental is Burial by Yogi, I think. And the first thing we want to do is make sure we've got the correct BPM for both of them. So we'll start off with the Burial instrumental because it looks a bit easier to do. It starts right there, bam, and then we'll go from there. So first thing I want to do is just cut off all this rubbish silence at the beginning of the track. So I move the region right there to there. That's pretty much exactly at the beginning. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to count 4 bars just in my head. So I'm going to play it and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, stop. And I'm going to hit the space bar when I said stop. And that's a total of 4 bars. So essentially when the 5th bar starts, the 4th bar ends. So I'm just going to do that now. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, stop. And we can see it's here on this transient here. Transient's just another key word there, is spikes in amplitude basically. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut that. Sorry, no, we're not going to do that. I was thinking of a loop-based remix. So what we want to do is change the BPM of the whole track. There are a number of ways to do this, but this is the way I do it. So we've got the marker, this thing here, where the 5th bar starts or the 4th bar ends. So now we're going to change the tempo of the track. So this part of the Burial instrumental goes to the 5th bar on the actual project. Also, you can see that I've got my beats per minute to 4 decimal places. To do this, I've just gone on custom here. So I'm going to make it, hold on, longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer until here we've got it exactly lined up on the 5th bar. And you really do want to make sure it's exact, because if you don't have exact here, later on in the piece, it'll go out of time. And we'll just check with the metronome now if that's in time. Seems it. If you can't really hear the metronome over the track, another good thing to do perhaps is to add a drummer track. It's like a metronome, but a guy playing drums, or the computer's sort of making up a drum pattern exactly in time with the music. So let's listen to that, to the metronome off. And if your drummer track's in time with the piece, then it's all in time. Here we go. We can see actually here that it starts a bit earlier. So what we're going to need to do is just move that. And you want to go further towards the end of the piece as well. And just keep on checking that it's all in time. A slight variance in tempo, or a slight mistake at the very start of the piece, means that the whole thing, towards the end especially, you'll certainly be able to see sort of mistakes, or hear mistakes rather. We'll just check it here. That's the last check we'll do. And I find, when doing this sort of thing, it really is the tiniest details that really matter. So that's bang in time all the way through. What we're going to do now to make sure that stays in time for the duration of this little video or project is turn on flex time. And then we're going to turn on flex time on this track. And what that does, when I change this tempo here, the tempo of the project, the track will change with it. So if we just listen to the barrel instrumental now. And then we say we change the project tempo to 101. Changes with it. You might find that audio degrades a bit, sort of in quality, for example, like this. A way to get around that is to put it on speed or effects. Sorry, FX. It's the effects of speed, which doesn't use something called the Fourier fast transform. It essentially pitch shifts it down like it was on a record player. Obviously that changes the entire key. If I was you, I'll probably just stick with this flex time automatic polyphonic. Can create some quite interesting effects if you do the speed effects. So now to find out the tempo of Dr. Dre. An easy way that you can actually do this, if you don't want to go through the whole Logic thing, if you have DJ software, for example, I've got Tractor, you can actually just look up the tempo on there. The tempo plugins on Logic, for example, on not sure where it is, metering BPM counter, they're not very good, so I don't really recommend using them. So on Tractor, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to search my track collection for Forgot About Dre when it loads up. One thing that you need to look out for occasionally on doing remixes, creating loops and things, is if the piece or if the sample that you're working with actually starts on the first beat of a bar. For example, this one does. Let's have a listen.
Y'all know me.
It goes, "You'll know me, still the same old G." However, if we're something like, "And you'll know me, still the same old G," that would mean that we'd have to elongate the project here and start chopping sort of back here. But because the acapella starts on the first beat, we don't need to do that, which is very useful indeed. See if Tractor's loaded. Great. And if we search Forgot About Dre, we can see here that the BPM is 133.871. So immediately what we can do is go back into Logic, change projects tempo to, oh, I've forgotten it already, 133.871. 133.871. Theoretically, this should work. Let's keep our fingers crossed and have a go. Let's see if everything sort of matches up. Hopefully. Let's have a listen. I don't know what this is going to sound like.
Still the same OG, but I've been low-key, hated on by most these with no cheese, no deals and no G's, no wheels and no keys, no boats, no snowmobiles and no skis. Mad at me cause I can finally afford to provide my family with groceries. Got a crib in the studio and it's all for the tracks. Y'all know me, still the same OG, but...
No, it doesn't work at all. So what we need to do, we need to do it manually. So let's take a listen. I'm going to count 4 bars in my head again and then stop it. So
y'all know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key, hated on by most these with no cheese, no deals and no G's, no wheels.
So the fourth bar ends or the 5th bar starts at wheels, no wheels. So in fact that should sort of be here. But I don't really know where this starts.
Y'all.
So if we say it starts there, I don't know. And then where's wheels?
No wheel.
So we now want to change the BPM. Yeah, so wheels is kind of here. Not sure. Let's have a listen.
Y'all know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key, hated on by most these. Y'all know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key, hated on by most these with no cheese, no deals and no G's, no wheels and no keys, no boats, no snowmobiles and no skis. Mad at me cause I can finally afford.
And we can hear here that it's kind of creeping faster and faster. I'm actually going to drag this back a bit.
Y'all know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key, hated on by...
and then wheels is there again. So
Wheels and no keys, no boats, no snowmobiles and no skis. Mad at me cause I can finally afford to provide my family with groceries. Got a crib with a studio with a star full of tracks. The add to the wall full of plaques. Hanging up in the office and back of my house like trophies. But y'all think I'ma let my dough freeze? Please, you better bow down on both knees. Who you think taught you the trees? Who you think brought you the OD? Easy.
and here again we can hear it, the vocals are starting to rush ahead again, so we'll just put the marker there, drag it forward a little bit, and also we can hear that the instrumental's a bit too loud, and the vocals we need to kind of, well, it's already max, isn't it? Let's just down EQ and just whack it up there. So you need to get the balance right between the two tracks you're mixing. Or if it's more than two, obviously that as well. So
ODs, Easy E's, Ice Cubes and DOCs, the Snoop D-O double G's, and a group that sent the police. Gave you a tape full of dope beats to bump when you stroll through in your hood. And when your album sales wasn't doing too good, who's the doc that he told you to go see? Y'all better listen up closely. All you that said that I turn pop or the firm flop, y'all are the reason that Dre ain't been getting no sleep. So y'all, all of y'all.
And obviously I've used the clean version of Dr. Dre. This is sort of a instruction video for BTECs, which is usually held at school. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the flex time on the Dr. Dre acapella. So that means I can change the BPM of the whole project. Both tracks will change BPM with the project BPM, and we can see how it is. So if I just, I don't know, let's turn it down a bit. Well, make it slower.
ODs, Easy E's, Ice Cubes and DOCs, the Snoop D-O double G's, and
Make it
a
a bit faster. Hold
group that sent the police. Gave you a tape full of dope beats to bump when you stroll through in your hood. And when your album sales wasn't doing too good, who's the doc that he told you to go see? Y'all better listen up closely. All you that said that I turn pop or the firm flop, y'all are the reason that Dre ain't been getting no sleep. So y'all, all of y'all, if y'all don't like me, y'all go.
Certainly the sort of thing you're going to need to do for distinction level for 1 quarter at least, because the unit says that you need to make 4 remixes. This is just one of the 4. Once you've done that, save your Logic project, or you can bounce it down as MP3 depending on what the task states. But I think at this school, you need to just save it as a Logic project and save it in your folder, and then create a couple more. So, for example, I could just save this as Unit 10, Task B, Track 1, and then put in brackets mashup. But the key things is really to have each track in time with one another. Okay, and if you want to add more tracks on top, that's absolutely fine. If you want to sort of change between acapellas, that's great as well. Change between instrumentals, perfect. And then you're kind of getting into a really complex mashup. But because it's just 4 sort of skeleton pieces, you don't need to do that. So what I recommend for this mashup part of Task B is just get an acapella, an instrumental, make sure they're both in time, both the levels are good, and then that should be okay. I'm just going to have a listen to it one more time, just check if things... Actually, no, I was going to mention something else. So if you really, really, really find it way too hard getting everything in time, come and speak to me first of all, because we will be able to sort it out. But a cheating way to do it, what you can do on the acapella, once you've turned on flex time, you can actually quantize the acapella. So you just click on the region, go on quantize. I'm going to click on 1/8. And you can also quantize it once you've actually got it in time as well. It'll make it a lot snappier and sound a lot more in time. But if it's out of time and you turn on quantize, it'll sound in time, but the phrasing will be completely out. So let's have to listen to what this sounds like then.
Y'all know me, still same OG, but I've been low-key, hated on by most these with no cheese, no deals.
Okay, that sounds absolutely bizarre, but it's still in time, but it just sounds weird. So you can do that, but make sure the acapella doesn't lose its integrity, keeps the same phrasing and stuff, and that should be fine. Good, well that's one part of 4 of how to do your remix portfolio. Thanks very much for watching. Good luck.